Hi, friends. This is Dennis with a few updates on what's going on with me and my latest projects using AI and product development. If you have seen the previous videos I've done on this topic, I'm currently working on a project where I'm using AI to create a web-based application that will be used by independent artists and craftspeople and makers who sell their items on Etsy, Shopify, and platforms like that. And the idea is this application would be used to track orders, products, costs, and determine profitability and correct pricing. And I got to the point a few days ago where I realized I had not really decided on a name for this product. And I think it's pretty important. I think the name helps indicate who the target audience is as well as what the product does. And so I thought about it just on my own without AI. And, you want something kind of short but descriptive. And I kept coming up with kind of 2-word names. And one word would be, craft, art, artist, maker. And the other would be a word, a business word like profit, margin, costs. And nothing I came up with really grabbed me. So I asked Copilot, that's the Microsoft product that I've been using, which I believe is really, it's OpenAI's AI product. And I don't know, maybe Microsoft does some tweaks to it, but Copilot is OpenAI. That's my understanding. And Copilot basically came up with the same kind of names. So, I have craft cost, art margin, profit maker. So I kind of came with a list, got it down to a list of a couple that I liked. And then I Googled those names to make sure there wasn't already some prominent product or company already using it. I don't think that necessarily stops it if you have a very different product, but I want the name to be unique. Anyway, one of the names, actually the name that I really liked, it turns out, was already being used by a product that does the exact same thing. Well, that was a little bit of, I'll admit, a little bit of a panic moment. I was like, oh, does that kill the whole idea? And then I went to the products page of this competing product, and it looks good. I'm sure it's a good product, but I came away thinking, I think I can make something that has a slightly different angle, adds value in a different way than what I think this product is doing. So I'm going to keep the idea. And, I think it's probably difficult in the business world to come up with an absolutely unique idea. I mean, most businesses, of course, there's competition. And hey, that's what the free market is for. We compete by creating, different services, better services. We bring the price down by trying to operate as efficiently as possible, and so forth. So, in a way, it helps me sharpen my thinking and define what my product's going to do. My other update I want to convey is I'm going to be using PostgRE SQL as my database. Now, I started in SQL Server, and that's mostly because SQL Server is what I'm used to. That's the database I really know the best. Although I have used PostgRE SQL and MySQL and Oracle they're SQL compliant databases. The whole point of being SQL compliant is if you know SQL, you can use any of them. So the issue, though, is kind of ease and what, if any, cost, and is any of them better for what I'm trying to do, which is a web-based application. I asked Copilot for recommendations between MySQL, PostgRE SQL, and SQL Server. And what Copilot said was pretty much what I expected and what I have found, which is that MySQL is cheap. A lot of web hosts, we're just going to toss in a MySQL database, with your basic hosting. But I think MySQL might not quite be up to what I want to do or where I want to grow my product. SQL Server, of course, is going to be expensive. And really too expensive for where I'm at right now. When I roll this thing out, maybe later I will port it over to SQL Server. But that pretty much, and Oracle the same thing. I think Oracle would have been too expensive for what I want to do and the resources I have, frankly. So let's PostgRE SQL. And again, Copilot saved me a lot of time because I kind of built, the prototype of the data structure in SQL Server. I gave that to Copilot. I said, hey, can you rewrite all of this, the tables, the foreign keys, and sort procedures in PostgRE SQL, which it did. And I already have PostgRE SQL on a computer, on a desktop, and it all compiled fine. So it actually did create that, the creation scripts for tables, indexes, sort procedures, just fine, not a problem. So that saves me a great deal of time. And the other interesting thing, I've been using Copilot, asking it about different product and business development, like questions, different strategies. Now, what's interesting to me about that is that, when it comes to technical things like the database code, I'm confident I can kind of do a code review, as it were, of what Copilot gives me. I already know how to make tables and so forth. So, and I've mentioned previously, Copilot gives a good first draft of a lot of database code, but then it has to be tweaked. Which leads me to something interesting. I've heard some people complain online, places like LinkedIn, that people are using AI like it's just a sophisticated Google. They're not, they're not letting it do all the work for them, which you might think like, oh, that's the full use of AI. And my experience and what I'm hearing from other people is like, AI is not there yet. Probably will be. I know it's all supposed to come for our jobs one day. If it hasn't already. But it's just not the point that I'm seeing where you can just get rid of all your software developers. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of, that rock star software developer in your department who gets a rock star salary. Toss them, lay them off. Who needs them? We got the AI. No, I think you're going to need people who actually know what they're doing. And actually, one other interesting point, since I'm, rambling here, I am on I am on LinkedIn, and if you've ever spent time on LinkedIn, you get mobbed by people trying to sell their resume services, their job hunting services, or their recruitment services. And so, of course, since I am still looking for regular work. Clearly, I'm still developing my product. It's been just a side project rather. A job hunting firm, I guess that's who they are, contacted me and said, "Oh, you should use our service because we can leverage the power of AI to write your resume." AI to write your resume. And I wrote back saying, well, I'm on LinkedIn Premium's 1 month free trial, and they have AI that has rewritten my resume. In fact, I can just, every time I'm I'm looking at a job description, I can ask LinkedIn's AI to tailor my resume to that job description. What is, so I asked the person, how is your AI different from anybody else's AI? I mean, how many AI products are there really? If Copilot is Microsoft using OpenAI's AI, how many AIs are there? Should I pay this guy's to use the very same service to rewrite my resume the same way? Anyway, just a thought. AI, a controversial topic, clearly very useful. I think this is what I'm also seeing in the comments on LinkedIn. Right now, it is just a souped up Google. It can give you more complete, tailored answers, and you can do, besides, I don't know if we Google, you can say give me a database structure, for the particular reason, particular purpose. But you can do that with AI. But at least right now, good old human beings who know what they're doing will have to be monitoring that situation. Okay, thank you very much.